Recording in progress.
המערכת נמצאת בהמתנה ומצפה להקשתכם עד 5 כדי להתחיל בהקלטה. בשידור.
שלום עליכם. Today, Shloim Ashkoyach, here with us today. Everybody that I see, Asher Yeshna, Asher Nena. We're on Parshas Bahar, which the Torah says this week, Khalil b'nei Yisur Avdim. Lo Yisur are my servants. Avudai Haim, Asher Tzeisi Oisem Eretz Mitzrayim, Ani Hashem Lekaychem. Chazal say, Avudai v'lo avudem la'avudim. Rashi brings on the spot, Shturi koidem, my star, the clothes for my children, for my avudim is before, probably before anybody that buys them for, as a servant, as an eved. We're going to speak this week on the halach that we'll start off with 5 stories. At the end of the, put all the 5 together, which sometimes the story is much stronger than was Arbeit nicht. Das sagen sorry, 1 second.
Ich spielen mit dem. Schau mal durch. Schau mal durch. Schau mal durch. Kann das nicht spielen mit der Jut. Hast du eingestellt mit das? Ja, so.
So today start with 5 stories. Sometimes I say a story is like a picture in a newspaper. It's like 1,000 words. The first story will start with the busha. That the Chavah came into the busha and told them they have a project of chesed that they want to build or do. They need 6 million shekels. And busha said, thought about it, they said, okay, it's no problem, you can go out and start doing it. Yeah, but where do we get the money? People said, you need it now? So they say, no, you need it when comes the payment. So till then, we'll see. So they said, yes, but we need 60,000 shekels, at least, for signing up the contract, etc. So Moshe said, okay. So he picked up the phone, called one of his philanthropists, and told him what they're going to do. We need a down payment of 60,000 shekels. He said, okay. And this Gvir says, sure, if you ask, it's okay. And he started saying, but I want it with a condition. And Rusha heard this, he closed the phone on him. And the Chavah were all excited. You had already 60,000 shekels. Why do you hang up the phone on a person? Rusha said that this person wants to give me 60,000 shekels, but all he wants it with a condition. I'd rather go to the Wunschlein that he gives it to us without any conditions. As the Ramak says, Kadosh Baruch Hu erech hafayim, even though we're doing stupid things, he keeps on giving us life, support, everything that we need. I'm with you, no conditions whatsoever. If you lose, you lose, I don't lose. So what's this? He's taking the money, not taking the money. We will learn from that story. Second story is the Bel Zeruf came to Eretz Yisrael. It's not Bel Zechuset, it's not Bel Zetoira. Bel Zeruf came to Eretz Yisrael. And the first Shabbos that he was here was in Haifa. And the first Torah that he said Friday night was Shabbos Shir, Parshas B'Shalach. He said, it says, Oz Yusha Moshe V'nei Yisrael Sashir Azois. Says the Rashi Mekam, the Tchias HaMaisem, Men HaTorah. So everyone asks, what does it come into here? Tchias HaMaisem, exactly. So the Bel Zeruf said that it was those times that he came out of the Holocaust, out of Europe, and everyone that's here by the Tish has a family in there, lost the family, doesn't know where the family is. Everyone's disturbed. Well, that same matzah was by Yitzias Mitzrayim too. It says, V'chamishim uli b'nei Yisrael, only 20% of the population of Klal Yisrael went out. The other 80% stayed there. So there must be someone that has a relative there. And how can we say Shir? So the Torah says, Oz Yusha Moshe, Mikal, if they were able to say Shir, it must be the Tchias HaMaisem that gave them the courage to say Shir. Well, if you're mourning for some loss that you lost, and you don't know how to cope with it, it's a very nice story, Tchias HaMaisem. But right now, someone was here yesterday, is not here today, so how do I cope with it? This is story number 2. What was the third one? You forget, I'm going to remind myself soon. And there's a story of the Baal Shem Tov himself. Baal Shem Tov himself was going on his way, traveling, and his daughter was in the wagon. And it started raining and dark and cold and muddy. The daughter was afraid to travel, and was afraid to travel, and she said, Tati, what's going to be? How we're going to get there? And Hashem Kodesh answers with his calmness, don't worry, Udl. Chef will help us. We'll get them, that's Hashem. So it helped for a quarter of an hour. The quarter of an hour again. Tati, when are we going to get there? Again, the Baal Shem Tov answers, don't worry, Udl. Because Baruch will help, we would get there, that was going on. Suddenly the daughter tells Rebusha, tells Baal Shem Tov, yeah, but Tata, who's going to help us till the Rebbe Shalom helps us? And Baal Shem Tov Kodesh answered, until the Rebbe Shalom help, the Rebbe Shalom will also help. Famous story and all kinds of variations. What does that mean? I need help right now. I'm here in the darkness. I don't know how to go. You're gonna help me. You're gonna help me. What are you gonna help me now? The fifth story is that the Baruch measure by a tish. The son of the Melech was there by the tish with Buzer. And the Baruch measure started saying, the Pusik. Torah says, "V'atu Yisrael, Mo Hashem Elokecha Shoel Minach." Klal Yisrael, what will HaKadosh Baruch Hu ask you when you come up there? What will be his first question? Shoel Minach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will ask you a question. Hashem Elokecha, did you say that Hashem is your Elokecha, is your God? Maybe you can tell me, Mu, with what was I your God? With what was I Hashem Elokecha? That's the question when we come up there. They're going to ask us. And the son of Melech got so frustrated that he said, Oi Tata, Oi my father, Oi Tata. And Baruch Mezrish didn't keep quiet, he had told him back. And who tells you it's your father? Dilma lav over him. Maybe it's not your father. You're saying, it's your father. Are you sure about it? It's your father. So he came home to Rebbe Melech and told him the story that the Baruch Mezrish told him, who says it's your father? So Rebbe Melech told him, well, why didn't you answer him? It says in the Torah, Sha'al uvichu. You can borrow a tata. It's a very nice story, but what does that mean? I'm going to get up there. Where do you borrow a father exactly? To explain this, there's a moral. I've spoken about in the past, but we'll explain now. There's called Yisur Yeshlam Chaylik Lo'ilam Abu. What is that Chaylik Lo'ilam Abu? In the Chlal, we know that the Mishnah says, Ezi Usha Asameach B'Chelkoi, which it says in Pirkei Umis. We always know a person, when he knows he only has a part, he's not so happy about it. He wants the whole thing. So how can he be a usha, a rich person, when he only has a part? The Chala Ol Masech the Uvis starts off, Kol Yisrael Yeshlam Chaylik Lo'ilam Abu, even though it's not in the same Masechta. Kol Yisrael is a Mishnah in Sanhedrin. Masechta Uvis is something separate, so why do you start B'chlal this Kol Yisrael here for? So what is Uvis talking about? Uvis is talking about the midas, the traits of a person. That is a person, as we know, see this. The whole Torah, the whole mitzvahs that the person learns is actually to get his midas right. What does it mean to get his midas right? Because Baruch Hu created the world. He actually hid himself. He hid himself, that means there is nothing in this world that is not a Kadosh Baruch Hu. But until it comes down to us, it comes down very complicated, very mixed up. And our work is to know that actually who's behind this whole scene. It's actually the Banishlam behind this whole scene. Nobody can do me anything without the Banishlam who decides. The Banishlam presses the button that's to get me angry. The Banishlam presses the button that I should get angry. The Banishlam presses all the buttons in order that I should see he's pressing the button. Because there is no other way that I can be connected to him, only in a concealed way. It cannot be in a revealed way. That means that Kadosh Baruch Hu is Ein Sof. If he reveals himself altogether, there's no world whatsoever. So he conceals himself, but there's nothing moving here without him. So then, if you then decide that actually it's not your friend that's doing it, Rebusha said it's not Menashe, it's him, and it's not you, it's also the Kadosh Baruch Hu, he believes in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then he'll be, the only place that you can recognize Ani Hashem is in that spot. So in order to start off, B'cholal, Masech Uvis, which is talking about midas, to calm yourself, to be happy with yourself, to find yourself, everything that we're talking about all the time, you have to know, Kol Yisur Yeshem Chelik Olam Abu. What does Olam Abu mean? Where are we now? Where's Olam Abu? Right now, you cannot see the Rebbeinu Shalom. Right now, you can only believe there's a Rebbeinu Shalom. But you can see him in a way that you can't understand him. You can see him in an emotional turbulence. You can see him when you don't understand. Then we go into emotional turbulence. We go into the amygdala we spoke last time. You get very nervous. You lose yourself. Fight, flight, freeze. And understanding messes you up. So, Olam Haba is a place of Hesach Hadas. Hesach Hadas means Mashiach won't come until you decide that you cannot know. You only have to believe. Because knowing HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Ein Guf, Ve'ein Masig. There's no way that I can see him. There's no way that I can understand him. I can only believe. But where did the emotions come up? The emotions don't come from the mind, from the understanding. The mind is a cold. Who's giving the emotions? The heart, which the heart is a kachadi kazach. It's a hard thing. It's very warm. And the heart, when there is no understanding, then he goes into flight, fight, freeze. Why? Because he's in a danger. He calls this way avoidance mechanism, something like that. That means you have all kinds of mechanisms in your body, coping mechanisms that you watch out not to get into that. So that goes off automatic. So what does it mean to help me? Well, we as a Eden know the Zohar Kodesh is the Yutzat from the Pshim Be'echui this week, on Motzei Shabbos. We know that Pshim Be'echui taught us that that the mind cannot understand the Rebbeinu Shalom, but the heart can feel the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Isa de Liebe, he calls it. There's a foundation of the heart which is called Avnes de Liebe. Avnes de Liebe, that is the foundation of the heart, which is the Rebbeinu Shalom himself in that heart, that's keeping that heart going. Zivche Elekim Ruach Nishbo, Leiv Nishbe Venitke Elekim Leisivze. Zivche Elekim, if you want to reach the Rebbeinu Shalom, is Ruach. In there's a Ruach. A heart has an outside part, an inside part. The outside part is Lev, but the inside part is the Ruach Hashem in there, which is called avnes de liebe. And once you connect yourself in believing, it calms down the heart because you're giving him a taste of the real thing, not of the materialism understanding. That's what the Maggid says this week. Avudai Veloy avudim la'avudim. I'll read it. I'll explain it in English. I try the best. A person udam yesh lo seichel. Because Baruch Hu gave for everybody a seichel. Is that seichel in English? Seichel, mind, intellect, cognitive, all the shine namen. Miderach hateva in nature, dvar sechel, something that is intellect. Ein lo ilhiduloik, you cannot understand. Only something that has sechel, that has understanding. But something that doesn't understand understanding, it's a waste of your to understand. You just don't understand it. Nimtzel comes out every time when you want to understand something. You have two ways to use your mind. You can use the mind in understanding, but actually you're understanding something that is bounded. You only look at the half a picture, we call it. Or you can use your mind all the way up to a minute and understand that you don't understand, and that opens your way to get to a minute. That means as long as you don't get your understanding out of the way, how do you get the understanding out of the way? So you understand that you don't understand, then you get to a minute. So it might as well, why waste your time on your precious understanding, and you're never going to get to a Rebbeinu Shalom, which Rebbeinu Shalom on purpose gave you this concealment in order that you should be able to connect him through a minute and reveal him. And the revealance of the new revealance will be much more a revealance than that you can understand before you go through this procedure of how we call it Achnua, Havdula, Amtuka. Achnua, decide that you don't understand. Havdula, differentiate between your heart and your ruach, which is the pneumius of the heart. Then comes Hamtuka, you're connected to a much higher place, much stronger place, which that gives calmness to the heart. Once it gives calmness to the heart, so you're much more easier off. So he says, why waste your time? Mali lachshav, b'seichel sheli, dvurim gashmiyim. Instead of that, take if medibik hamachshuva, connect your machshuva b'dvurim, take dvurim gashmiyim. As then, when you're busy with mundane things, you're actually bringing down your seichel into a madrega shfelut, a very low place. Might as well toiv lahalois haseichel lemadrega elyoinu ledavik hamachshuva le'ein sof b'ruchi. Once you reveal the Ein Sof, it's like a magnet. You don't even have to go up. Tell the Rebbeinu Shalom, let the Rebbeinu Shalom schlep you up. That's the Piyut we learned last night says. Piyut says the two ways, two traits. There are traits, positive traits that a person does. Mitzvahs Esa, we call it positive midas. There are negative midas. Actually, everything's from the Rebbeinu Shalom. The positive, the Rebbeinu gives you the koach to harvest Hashem, and the negative, that you should also the Rebbeinu gives it. But we have the problem to recognize that the Rebbeinu gives it to us. That our task here is actually to recognize the Rebbeinu. In positive traits, we may talk about the Rebbeinu, says the Busha, but it's only how do you call it? Lip service. But when a person suddenly sees himself with something not nice, thinking about something not nice, talking about something not nice, doing something not nice, automatically the heart gives you a year. The heart gives you a boishes, gives you a fear. Someone might catch me. My heart suddenly gives me, I might have ambition, I might have shame. Then the heart automatically is a chmizbatel, that means the part of the lev is a chmizbatel, and this alle is being schlepped up through the ruach, the Kodesh Baruch Hu. When a person goes through that procedure, which is a procedure which the Buddha called it savlanut, you have to believe in it. You need the awareness that that is the procedure, and you have the patience till that procedure goes through. Then that procedure helps that actually you took this heart, which is the outside, the chitzonius of the heart, and you revealed the pnimius of the heart, which is Ruach Hashem. So it uplifts you, uplifts your whole surrounding, everybody around you, uplifts all the world, says the pilots, all the way up to all the maluchim that they have to give us the ashpuas. Then the whole picture of the whole world changes, that suddenly you get ashpuas, new thoughts, new ashpuas, begashmis, and barachmis. That's what we're here for. That's what a Yid is here, Ovid Hashem. So at the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you this person to aggravate you. It sends you this feeling that you want to get aggravated. Sends you this feeling that you're afraid to get aggravated, whatever it is that it might cost you if you get aggravated. Sends you this feeling that if you're going to aggravate, it will be a big shame out of it. How did you do such a thing? And through that, he sends you the korech that you should be able to give bittul, to surrender to Rabbeinu Shalom. Once you surrender, you're ready. You understand that you're concealed, and ready that the Kodesh Baruch Hu should take off the concealment. Automatically comes the revealment that things go up to the Kodesh Baruch Hu. But that is your work, which actually the Moranayim calls it. That's what we build Mashiach. What does Mashiach mean? Mashiach there will be no difference to Mashiach. And now, Rak Shibed Malchias. Right now we're busy with understanding, that's called Malchias. We're busy in this world to make sense of the world that we are, which is called Malchus. And the more you try to make sense out of it, the more you get messed up. So we have to bring you to Hesach Hadas, which Hesach Hadas will be that you understand that you cannot understand. So then you'll start believing in everything. And now you have a hard time to believe it without going through the process of boishes, this battle, this other. Why? Because there's the koiches hatima, which were processed through all the generations, which we're not going to go into it, the all the mabul, the afluga, everything that happens. And if you have any, you also add it on. And every time you have a pain, it's actually helping you to reveal that koich HaKadosh that is hiding, but the pain comes from the snagdis, that is standing against you, the klippus, and doesn't want to give out the koiches. So every time a person goes through a hardship, it's not the Baruch that's giving the hardship, it's my resistance that I'm not ready to accept things that actually I'm going to be elevated, and I'm keeping on strong. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight it all the way through. So that's because I'm trying to understand it. But once I go into believing that this is a procedure, and I just let go, as we call not to do, like only to be, then automatically this procedure helps. What will be lucid Lord when Mashiach will come? The whole difference is the chalarishu kilo be'ushan tichle. All these clippers that are right now fighting around and keeping the Kedusha to himself, and every time there's a chance, an opportunity to go back to Bonshon, the clippers fighting you, then there won't be any clippers anymore. All the clippers will be like ushan, like smoke. You see, it's nothing there, but you can do that work today too. But even though you do that work today too, it's only a partial work. It's only a partial work in this situation that you're also touching now Mashiach. That's what the Mendel Tapska, we told the story before. The Mendel Tepskis, I didn't tell that story yet, did I? I didn't. And after the fifth story, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the third story.
That's, yeah, so after the fifth story. We started off with stories, we'll tell the fourth stories later again. The fifth story was that the Mendel of Vitebsk was in Tveria, and suddenly Talmidim come in and tell him great news. Somebody went up on the Zaysim there, in Shalim, with a shofar and a talis, and starts yelling, a voice, Mashiach is here. And the whole town is on wheels, what's going on? So they came, the Talmidim, and they all spread, the news spread in the whole Eretz Yisrael. There was a Mashiach Hashindu. So they came into a mandala. The mandala got up from his place and went to the window and sniffed outside in the air. And he said, I'm sorry, I don't feel Mashiach out there. And he sat down. The tzaddikim, the religion, I think, said that why did the mandala get up from his place? He was able to do that in his place too. So he said, by the mandala, he already had the ruach from Mashiach. He wanted to see if Mashiach is outside. That's also a nice story. But what is Mashiach here? It was not here. Is it any partial Mashiach? But the Moranim says, Kol tzaddik v'tzaddik has his tikkun of Mashiach. Every time that you connect yourself to the concept of Mashiach, which is Imala Uz Deis Hashem, you're ready to give up your understanding of, you're ready to go into a mode of Hesach Hadas, and ready to go into believing, you actually have a partial, which is your part of Klal Yisrael, that you have to reveal Mashiach. It says in the Torah, when the Kohen Gadol went into the Kodesh Kudim, it says that Chol Udam, it says, Chol Adam Yeh Ba'oil Moed, there shouldn't be no human being. So they ask, what says no human being? Ahan himself is a human being. And it says, Alushan Bezois Yuvayahan, but he could come in there. So why is it Bezois? Why does it say Bezois? Why doesn't it say Bezer? Says the Moranim, there is Zois, and there is Zer. Zer is more specific. Zois is Be'erach, is Be'erach, Kemat, huh? How? Approximate, minimum, maximum, that you can see him, but it's much more deeper than you see. That's Zois. Zer is the clearest sight that you can do. Right now, when the Kohen goes into a Shleidim, you can only have is a minute and come to a partial recognizing the Baruch Shleidim, which the Baruch himself you cannot recognize whatsoever. But you come to a place of Besuri, that I see myself, that I'm here in a place that I have to boishes if I'll think about it, if I'll think that I understand the Baruch Shleidim, if I think that I see the Baruch Shleidim, I'll get punished and it'll be a big shame. So I actually am ready to be misbattle, and then actually I can come into the Besmigdash, because the Besmigdash is schlepping me in there, not that I'm coming in there. It's Bezois, when he lives, there is no Zer these days. These days there's only Zois, which that is the hardship of a person. Because we all want the whole cake. We don't want a chaylik. We want the whole thing. But a person has to understand that now, as long as Mashiach is here, you can only have a part. But it's a part of the Usad Luva. Called Yisur Yeshlam Chaylik La'olam Abu. The part that you need now in this concealment, that your emotions get wild, and you need that a minute to keep you going, that part of a minute you can reveal now when you decide that you don't understand, then actually all you need now, right now, you have it already. That you want to see things so clear, without the sitaacha bothering you, without this hardship, without this procedure, without this patience, as we said, that you ain't going to get these days yet. You have to, everybody here that's in this world has to work, has his chelik to work on, מי שלא נבנה בית המקדש ביומov, כאילו נחרב ביומov. The Sfasamis asks, what? There were tzaddikim that the Beis Mikdash wasn't built in their days, so that means it was destroyed in their days. But every tzaddik va'amech kilem tzaddikim has his building of the Beis Mikdash. Everyone has his place where he has to reveal the Boim Shleim, and where you're going to reveal it, you built your part. But Misha loy nivne Beis Mikdash yomov, through my midas, through my traits, through my life, is kilenechav yomov. You're keeping back the whole procedure because you didn't do your work, as the Ari is busy with Gilgilim. We're all coming back. We're all neshumas here that were here in the past. We just have to fulfill what's missing. So actually, when a person does this work, he is actually in the phase of chelik of olam habu, but he's only in a phase of a chelik olam habu. Is Ezi Usha, who is the rich person? Hasameach bechelkoi. He knows whatever Kodesh Baruch Hu gave him now, he was able to reveal. Even in materialism, he was able to reveal a business goes through. And he has 10 businesses that didn't go through, actually comes to reveal him. The other 10 that don't go through comes to reveal that this one that goes through is this one that did go through is the Rebbein Shleim. So then you have another 10 businesses to do, but not to break yourself that it doesn't work. You open the Pischli Pesach Gechidesh or Machat. You open up a hole, and Kodesh Baruch Hu help. Once you open up, the Buddha says the first time it's very hard to live what we're talking about. Why? Because we're so into understanding, we're so into materialism, and Spinka Rebbe comes around and the Buddha starts telling all these stories. It's very hard to leave your comfort zone that you understand everything, and it's hard to leave it. But once a person does this transcending, this mindfulness, this avoider, as the Busha called it, then the first time is hard, said the Busha, but the second time you felt ta'ami yariki teiv Hashem, as we spoke in one of the shmissen. Or you get a taste, but that taste is so powerful that you have already now Mashiach, then you're able to the next time use this taste that you have from now to get to the next taste. It's just like a mushal that you're going into business, you want to buy real estate, and but you need the banks. So you go through a whole procedure till at the end of the day you get an okay from the bank, a paper, it's called Yishur Ikronot, something like that.
Clear to close.
Clear, no?
They give you clear to close.
Clear to close. Then whole Manhattan is yours. You just have to go and find what's good for you. That means Kol Yid has to know that he has already clear to close. Now, once he has that clear to close, even though God forbid something is missing, I know that gives me the connection to my chelik lo'elam abu right now, because I can get to my chelik lo'elam abu through that something that's missing. It's forcing me to get to leave, not to understand my hesach. That is actually Mashiach. So that's what the Ma'anaim explains, that everybody has a Mashiach pruti. We're still waiting for the Mashiach kluli. That means when Mendele Tepska said that my place is already Mashiach, I did my work, but I went to the window to see that if Mashiach kluli is also here, and I didn't see there's Mashiach kluli out there. The same thing is with this person that went to Yerushalayim, and he decided that Mashiach is here. He might have done his personal work, but it doesn't mean that the Mashiach is here. And anyone that lives in the old city, I have here somewhere in Yeshiva, that lives in the old city, there are a lot of going around there and start talking about the Messiah, and they all get crazy, and they come home and they have to put them into institutions. You can't, they lose it. Why? They come into a certain transcendence, but it's you still, as I said, it was a Chusset Chabad came home from the Rebbe, and the wife told him, how was it? Well, the Rebbe was talking about Atzilus, Mashiach, whatever. And he couldn't communicate. Children, Daddy, what'd you bring? No communication. Till a neighbor came in and said, Yankel, you didn't have any money to go to the Rebbe. You took from me 100 rubles, give it back. What 100 rubles? What are you busy with stupid things? Mashiach, Atzilus. So he gave him a bang in the back, and he says, it looks like Mashiach is not here yet. That means a person has to know that even though he went into a transcendence of Mashiach, but as the Yitzhak used to say, then Sunday you have to go back to work. But when you go into this transcendence, you're living in the hoiva, you're living in the present. Where can a person connect himself to that olam haba, which is tomorrow? A person cannot live the past and cannot live the future. You can only live the present. And living the present means that the present is a present. That means it's a matuna. And when you live the present as a present, you're actually connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom in that present. And the Rebbeinu Shalom in that present is not past, future, and present. The Rebbeinu Shalom is past, future, and present. That means we in the creation became only a hoiva, only a present, and we cannot live the past and the future. But the Shem Havai before the Bria Soilim, and every second was no differentiate with the past, present, future. So once a person lives in the present, that means the chelik that he has in the present, he's connected to the whole picture, even though I don't have it right now in cash, but I have that free, how'd you say before? Clear to close. That means you have that, you're connected already. The minute you need it, you'll have it, and the bank will give you, but it's not going to give you until you don't bring what you need right now. So it's there for 5 years, 10 years. The Moshe gives every year, comes down, he gives them a whole 70 years that we should fulfill. He gives us a whole clear to close. Everything that we have, we just have to stop trying to understand. We have to start going to believe. Every time you believe, you're actually revealing another. So the first time it said it's hard, the second time it's easier. So now we'll finish off what we started off. It's avudai haim, that's what the Maggid says. You have to work here. The question is if you're working for your money, you're working for your kinna, your tava, kuvud, or you're working to reveal the concealed. It's might as well don't waste your time on mundane things and start using your time to reveal that you don't understand, and actually you come to the real revealment that he says, Paul, there's a fila dvurim agashim tzichon lavad laboya. That means avudai haim might as well be my servant, and not avudam lavudam, so that is the materialism. It's a Yotzat from the Shimon, as we said. The Shimon, the Gemara says, Maase betalmud, the Medrash says, Maase betalmud echad shel Shimon, that he went to Chutz La'aretz. He came back very rich. V'hoya talmidim roim oisin, the talmidim saw that. Mekanim, they weren't able to concentrate by learning. Well, am I sitting, huh?
They were jealous.
Jealous. You understand it too. V'hoy mavakshon hen, lutzes lechitzlos. They also wanted to go to chitzlos. Why are we sitting here wasting our time, scratching the bank? V'yuda Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon noticed it. He took him for a walk. The feld, as they say these days. Lebiku achas. Shel Fage Mudan. ונספר, ואומר, ביקו, merely dinner zov. Valley, fill yourself up with golden coins. And suddenly, you see a whole valley full of golden coins. And Shimon says, anybody wants, you don't have to go to Chitzlos, it's here. Atem mavakshem, harei zuav. Kli lachem, take it. However, you should know that what you're taking right now, you're going to miss out your chelik shel olam haba. Because your chelik in olam haba is that you want something and you're ready to go into concealment and reveal it, then you'll have toiv li toya spichu me alfe zor v'chesef. Then you'll have also kesef as well, and also the revealment and also the concealment. But if you're only going for the concealment, you might have the concealment, but the revealment, which actually that gives you the geula, kovo el nafshi geula. How does a person get his geula? You get his geula only through nafshi, when my nefesh becomes calm. But since I'm only bounded through materialism, I'll always go into a turbulence. I will never be calm. So the more you're ready to understand, to believe, and you understand you don't understand, the more you go into Gila. The more you're trying to understand, the more you want to feel the money. You're going to lose the chelik lo'olam haba. Kol mi shenoitel achshav chelkei shel olam haba hi noitel. You're taking away you might be sitting here and schwitzing away. You don't know how to pay your bills, but every time the Busha said, when you needed something, you had it. It's just you want it now in cash. You should be able to take out the money and say, and give it to him. So b'zinder tava, and she'ein matan schara ha'toyre ela b'olam haba. It's something that you cannot get paid in this world. But tischak le'yoim achrim. That would come to conclude what we started off. That the first story was Busha himself. The Chaver came into Busha and told them they want a project. They need 6 million shekels. Busha thought about it, said, okay, no problem. And he said, you can go ahead. Yeah, but where are we going to get money from? So Busha said, you need the money now. They say, no, but we need to close the down payment to close the contract. How much do you need? 60,000 shekels. He says, okay, no problem. He picked up the phone, called one of his abdim, and he said, okay, I'm giving you. Busha said, he was so happy. But suddenly this Gevir says, but I have a condition I need from you. Since I'm giving you 60,000 shekels, I need a condition. Once the Busha heard this word's condition, he hung up the phone on him. So Chaver got very nervous. What's going on here? So, why should I take from him? He's tying me down with more conditions. Might as well go to the Boish that he gives me without any conditions. That means somewhere I'm working here and I'm in and betuchen, and he puts in conditions. Actually, he's tying me again to a concealment. The second story we were talking about, the Bel Zeruf. The Bel Zeruf came to Haifa for first Shabbos. He said, Torah, Oz Yusha Moshe, Mikan, Letchias HaMeisim and Torah. How did they were able to say Shiur? Everybody lost a family, everybody only 20% went out, 80% stayed in Mitzrayim. So when you lose someone very close to yourself, how can you say Shiur? Mikan Letchias HaMeisim and Torah. That's what Rashi says. Tchias HaMeisim gave him the push. They were able to say Shiur. What am I saying Shiur for? I don't know where she is. I have no idea what's going on. Esther is here. Today it's not here. Tchias HaMeisim means that Kodesh Baruch Hu is mechal kol Chaim b'chesed. He's giving you right now, through your believing, as much life that you need of olam haba right now, and you don't have to know everything what's going on. When Mashiach will come, things will sort out. So Busha says that's the way you'll bring Mechaya Meisim Rachman. When you live, that what you're keeping yourself now is not you're keeping you up. It's the Rachman Rav that Kodesh Baruch is. So you this neshama that's you're missing is helping you to bring Mechaya Meisim, and Mele you're bringing Beis Hamikdash. And you said, God forbid, the other way around, if you get broken, you're the one that's bringing Chom Beis Hamikdash. And since it's the one that you're missing, you're doing the opposite thing around. So that's what the Belzer says, believe that you have now a chelik, which a Kodesh Baruch Hu is giving you an olam habu, that you're able to connect yourself. The third story that we were talking about was the son of the Melech. Son of the Melech came to Baruch Mezhebisha, and Baruch Mezhebisha said, Mo Hashem Alekecha Sholem Keim Liyir. Our first question would be, because Baruch Hu asked you were talking about Hashem Alekecha all your life. Maybe you can tell me with what Hashem is Alekecha. And the son of the Melech heard that question, and he became very, very disturbed. He said, Oi Tate. And he came, and the Baruch Mezhebisha told him, who says it's your father? Dil melavu, maybe it's not your father, the Rebbeinu Shalom. So he came home to Rabbi Melech. Melech told him, he told the whole story. So the Melech told him, you were able to say, Sha'al uvichum. You can borrow yourself a father. How do you borrow yourself a father? Because when you go through this question, that someone's asking something and you don't know what the answer, you have to know that you cannot know what the Rebbeinu Shalom is, but this itself, that you're ready to believe that the Rebbeinu Shalom, then you're getting your chelik of olam haba, your calmness, to be sure that what you're doing, that is the Rebbeinu Shalom. So every time, the maximum that a person can get these days is only sha'alavich. You only get a loan. Just like you have a free,
Clear to close.
clear to close. That means you have it, but when you have to cross that bridge, when you come there, but as long as you're not going to come to this place that you don't understand, and you must go over to a minute, you have to go through this procedure, as we said. What procedure? Procedure to Achnur is called that I understand that I don't understand. Havdula, I'm trying to connect to the part of a minna, not to the part of understanding. Then you come to Amtuka, a person feels himself much freer. Then we added off one more story, which was, what was that?
The Lashantov's Tochter.
Lashantov's daughter. Lashantov's daughter was going together with Lashantov, and suddenly it started raining, it was dark, and didn't know where we're going to, she was afraid, and she said, Tati, when are we going to get to that place? She said, Udl, don't worry, because Baruch will help us. We should get there. So she calmed down, went through 15 minutes. Again, she says, Tati, I'm afraid. Well, and he said again with his calm voice, don't worry, Udl, because Baruch will help us. We should get that. It was going on all the time. Then slowly she became frustrated. She says, Tati, but what will happen till HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us to get there? What will happen till we get there? So she said, till we get there is also the Rebbeinu Shalom helping us. That means that Kodesh Baruch Hu, a person has to believe that Kodesh Baruch Hu is giving you now the chelik that you need to keep yourself. So we're coming back to the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol goes into the Beis Hamikdash. We said that Kol Udam Lo Yiyeh Levoy El HaKodesh. So it's here one of the Menachem was here, the Baruch Rebbe said from his great-grandfather, lost a child or children. And he said the world is set up of doimim, sameach, chai, and medaber. Help me a little bit English. Doimim, inanimate objects.
Stone, just a stone.
A stone.
Stones.
And we have sameach, it's flowers, the vegetation. And we have chai, is the animals. And we have the medaber, the human being. From all the four, the chai, the sameach, and the medaber is something that demolishes along the time. It doesn't stay here. The only thing that's around here already over 5,000 years is the doimim, the stones. Just they didn't move from the place of a human being, didn't move them yet. That means it's natural, as a Kodesh Baruch Hu created, they're still here. So said the Baruch Rebbe that a person, when he comes into a matzav that he doesn't understand, and he still wants to be a human being, watch out, it's going to demolish you, it's going to make a total loss. Then you must go into a doimim. You have to decide that you lower down your understanding and you go into believing. That's called Vayidoy Mahal. a hand went into the meal that he doesn't understand. Just like a stone doesn't understand, because everything in this world has something that you can understand. But a stone that's sitting there, and I tell you that a bunch of them's in there, you can't understand. A flower, you can see, there's not one flower the same as the other. Human beings, human animals, but in the doimim, you just have to go into believing. But what keeps it going already over 5,000 years, the doimim, is because it's not into understanding, it's into being than doing, as we call it. And that's what has to keep you going. In order that a Han, a Kohen, should be able to go in to the Beis Hamikdash, he had to decide, Lo yeh udam b'voyer HaKodesh. I have to just live with the Zois, that's the fact, that's the Amina, and that's the way he can go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. That's why the Maggid says that the Kohen Gudel will never go out any Levaya. Why? In Hamikdash lo yetze, because he never leaves the Beis Hamikdash. Doesn't mean he doesn't leave the Beis Hamikdash. He went home, but the concept of Migdash, which is Usri Migdash, to living with the Rebbeinu Shleim, he never difference. He never take that a relative passes away, that it took it to the next level to connect to his Chaylik Olam Abu, Prince of Tchias HaMaisim. Maybe he can even do the avodah of the Karbonis even before the Levi is a Oinan, which no other Kohen Hadid can do that. Says the Baal Shem Tov, we all have this koyach of a Kohen min Hamikdash lo yetze, that we were able to keep up our happiness and make others happy, as you said before, and bring down all the ashpuas. And the Zois Yuva, he's ready to live the Zois, not the Zer. When Mashiach will come, Uma b'yoyim hine lekeini, only then, today you have a part of the Zer, which is called Zois. That'll be hine lekeini Zer, kvini lo yosheni. And that says the Piruz, that's the whole soul of the Ashpur. You bring calmness not only to yourself, to your surrounding, to all the oilness and all the shefa, begashmis and berochnis. And we shouldn't know anymore from anything missing. Everyone should have more than you need. And things should go faster than you want. And we should all have atzluch on all our ways. Gesundheit, qualitative. Any questions?
Very interesting that what the Rebbe was explaining about the God Asida is B'atzam, exactly the same way the Rebbe was explaining about God L'Sheni for Yisrael Mitzrayim.
The only way you go out of Mitzrayim is only till you understand that you don't understand. And that actually, as long as a person tries to understand, he is harming himself for those minutes. Because actually, I call it just like a fist fight. But the more you're going to fight yourself, the more it's going to hurt. Not him. And that's all you the most in the past.
The Rebbe wrote about the Yidam Maham in this week's expression, right? So there's a lot of but on the first read, it looks like, okay, you have any emotions or any challenges, you just have to shut up and take it.
So here we're not talking about shutting up.
Right,
We're talking bring it to the next.
Part. Like, how do we take it to that next level?
So it's saying, a guy has that problem. He's always busy playing around with his emotions, but at the end of the day, he's trying to minimize his emotional turbulence, that he should be able to cope and keep on going. But a Yid can bring it to the next level, to believing, and believing he becomes a part of Lucid Luvim. The whole emotion is only because I don't understand. But if I can go into believing, and that gives the calmness to the heart, so that means I go into a doimim. What is a doimim actually? A doimim says it's shvach lakudish baruch Hu too. The whole world is saying shvach lakudish baruch Hu. Even the stars, everything says shvach. But they don't have this das that's messing them up that they have to understand. So mainly they're around here since creation. The Shemesh, the Yerech, Adam, the Yerech was too smart, and they made him smaller. That means, well, we go to the Yerech because so every time a person falls, is actually for the come, not for the falling. Because the falling helps him to understand that he doesn't understand, and he had to fall, but not to get broken from the falling. The falling is to give him the strength of the patience till this procedure happens, that you're able to see the Rebbeinu Shleim. Someone came into the bush and told him the bush Sheva Yipul Besadik Bekom, I went through the Sheva Yipul. What's next? So there's Sheva millions of the Yipul. This Sheva Yipul.
It's 7. It's
Schon Rache Ben Zion, wo sagt ihr, was geht's? Verstehst du in Englisch?
Ich habe gehört schon Nächten von der Wäiroעים zum Kerzen. Ich meine, ich bin Afro, Fehler. Ich weiß noch nicht, wenn es eine gute Zeit zu klingen, auch gewollt reden. Aber wenn ich setze Shiur, hat einer gesucht, hat der Bäume schleudern, hat getan Sachen mit Klallis wollen, sie sitzen Shiur, wo es kein Psycholog kann nicht ziehen, wenn noch so viel Zeit, weil der Luche bei Shiur ist, der Uhr darf anfangen zu reden. So mal, wenn es passiert, sagt, die so weit für ein Mensch, also kann nicht reden, der Luche ist nein, soll anfangen zu reden. In so viel Mal übersuchen, noch einmal, soll rausreden für sich, in der Thomas Akin darf noch ziehen zum Moment, auf eine Uhrzeit, soll bekommen eine Uhr für die ganze Besmetrisch, Misan Mirke Medizin, so ich kann bleiben allein. Sagt wie viel mit Geim nimmt der Mensch Psycholog, diese Jüdischkeit, der Luches, das ist die größte Sache. Und noch eine Sache, mir gesagt für Biankele, als interessant Sache, Menschen können sagen, als der Zadig hat geehrt das, dann so gut nicht hat mich nachher gewesen, nur das und das. Jener Zadig sagt, mit dem gesagt, gut nicht hat mich nachher gewesen, nur das und das. Und du sagst, also jeder Mensch ist anders, einem hat du, einem hat dort, keiner nicht dasselbe. Es ist eine Mirke, die gesagt.
Also Bush hat aber Machadisch gewesen. Der Schreck der Chisch hat das gefallen. Der Schreck der Chisch hat doch sehen weinen. Das Problem ist, ein Mensch schreckt sich, als weint, dann heibt zu weinen, oder weint. Ein Mensch sieht sich schwach, und wird schwach von dem, was schwach. Dort hat der viele. Der viele ist nicht von der Schwach, was?
in a psychological way, self-judgment.
Self-judgment, call whatever you want, but that geben dir nicht kann Taklif, das geben dir nicht da geben nicht keine andere Sache. Du hast Pshat verkehrt, was haben wir gelernt, der Magid tut, aber wo es da kriegt man so das Seife, Dibris HaMagid. Da ist es ist der Magid sucht, wo dein Heim. Ich bringe der Avu Eivet das da bleiben, bis gewähnen in Mitzrayim, bis da rausgegangen, bis ich gewohnt aus Eivet, wo steht der Chayres, aber das Leben mit mir kannst du ziehen zum richtigen Chayres, das ist der Chayres von Lustig dabei. Das meint auf Englisch, don't waste your time of trying to figure it out. Just go into believing.
Ja, Bianca hat gesucht einmal für einen, ich meine, man hat nur gesucht, etwas, ich meine, Marcel Bianca hat gesucht, man soll es nützen, bei sich einmal zu geben. Kein Sam hat es dort gesucht, aber der Bianca fliegt rausgehen, der gelegt für Balanes, fliegt allein, Lekude Maranai, also fliegt allein, und sucht, er soll kein Gesinterheit und zurück in Gesinterheit. Er sei mit dem Ausbucher, gegangen, in der Mittenweg hat er sich ausgeglitscht bei der Schnee. Und mit dem gedacht nehmen im Spital. Und es ist ein Ausbucher allein, das macht er fragt ihn. Rebbe, nicht der Schuld auf der Zduke, das hat nicht geholfen. Und Bianca hat gesagt, sie gewesen einmal am Moschke, Rebbe soll am Maß, im Kitz auf dem reingelegt, in Twisse, und ich kennt daraus, es gibt nur ein Patent. Oder bezahlt man, oder hat man Schleck. Ist gegangen? Oder hat man Schleck, hat er ihm gesagt. Wer gibt den Schleck, der Schäumer. Geil, bezahlen ein bisschen, ein paar Dollar soll ich machen, wie schluckt. Schau, geht's auf dem Gehirn, hat gemacht, wie schluckt 1, 2, 3. Aber der 30. hat gegeben, wie sagt man, Gitte. Hat fragt mich, Michael Suba, was hat man gesagt? Ich kenne den Jiederlich. Hat wollte dann nicht geben, der 30. gesagt, es hat sich nicht gelohnt, ich kann geben weniger Geld. Oder geben 1, das versichern, wo das? Hat Bianca gesagt, ich gebe jedem von Rabmeier, ich gebe Geld. Rabmeier, ich soll mit Schmeinen. Rabmeier hat einmal gegeben, sie versichern, so wissen, was mir versprochen. Und der Bianca gesagt, wir kennen das nicht so. Er sagt, geht einem gehabt an, das Schmier das gehabt. Einer hat mir das gesagt, man hat eine Sprache mit Kindern. Und einmal sagt, wir können nicht schätzen. Wir können Tag nicht schätzen. Und nicht wegen dem darf passieren. Als es passiert, als er sagt, ich meine, dass ich damit Zuchtung umziehe. Ich weiß nicht, sie ist damit sie ist. Wenn man nimmt da weg, sieht man der Halal. Ich weiß nicht, ich kann nicht auf der Welt, dass es mit sie ist. wir sind schon gewählt.
Der Halal ist nicht keine neue Sache. Der Halal
Ja,
hat der Schöpfer beschaffen der Welt, hat gemacht am Muck im Reich. Und in dem Halal hat der Mamsch in der Kav, so du am Mama Akiri von dem Halal. Und jedes Mal, was ein Mensch begegnet sich mit dem Halal, hat eine Chance, sich machaber sein zum Ein Sof, auch nicht im Ein Sof, noch zu dem Kav, das heißt Kava El Hashem. Das hat eine ganze Mama. Und auch als du a Sloneme mit Teure Suve suchte, me Erev ad Erev Tisch bis sie Shabbatche, me Erev. Es heibt sich Stunden, der ganze Tisch bis sie heibt sich nach oben, wenn es wird bei der Erev. Aber vieles ist ein Shabbatche, das ist ein Tisch bis sie bis Greiz, zu verstehen, der versteht es nicht. Und es sieht, wenn es Shabbos, Lavi-Yoyme, die Gif-Yoyme, die Nischmesse, aber es ist von dem Erev, die ganze Welt ist noch von dem Erev bis zum nächsten Erev. Hab's von einer frischen Erev. Na, ich das nur Schchine Tattoo, Schchine Elua, Shabbos Tattoo, Shabbos Elua. Das heißt, man weiß, aber der nennt es sich nicht, der wartet sich nicht. Das ist Kover Nafshi Geula. Das ist das erste Mal gut, Nafshi Bishai Lucy. Nafshi Bishai Lucy ist das, mein Nefesh hat sich nur beruhigen, wenn ich weiß, als ich habe ungeborgen genick, was ich darf, auf dem Maße, was ich schon mehr. Es kann ein Mechazig sein, anderem, ich darf dich Mechazig sein, das ist der richtige Wert, das ist der richtige Mensch, das ist korrekt.
Ja, ist am Mucke mit einem Messer, so schau, weil ich hier will, schon lange, weil es ist sie viele da, wo heute.
Das ist korrekt, was grüßt noch haben da. Kalte.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much.
Kalte, thank you for listening. Das ist korrekt, Joeli. Das ist ja fein. Schon mal, Joeli, du, was machst du?
Thank you.
Man hört doch nicht, schon mal echt Nobi.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Wie geht es mit dir? Hast du ein Grieß von der Kalle? Schleimele,
schickt mich den Link, so kann mithelfen. Und dann bin ich in Amerika, jetzt verwacht.
Schleim. So much Sluche.
The Spinka energy helps.
Ja.
Oh man.
Aber ich hab nicht, als das, was hier halten mit, gibt mir der Kirches. Weißt du, einer ist einmal gegangen, er wollte hin zu erreichen, ist aufgegangen auf dem Panowitsch auf dem Tisch. Und hat Klapp getan. Als ich hier auf zu erreichen, hat schon gehabt, morgen ist April. 200 Menschen. Können wir nachher mal sagen, jeder will sehen, dass schon einem zu weinen, der. Das ist nur nicht interessant, das ist das Gerät von dem nach Fahr, dem auch. Aber so, das ist eine Kette bei Ätzem, wo es der haltende Mensch. Alle, aber das ist der Schliches, wie so ein Schliches. Ja, es war zadig, ist rüber gegangen, aber er hat sich gehalten. Ich komme aus leider Sachen der Welt, nach dem Biochen. Kommst du an die Chabad-Haus, sitzt dort nach Chabadske, sitzt dort ein Rat, kommende Vieh, so und kann essen am Frühstück, hatte schon ein bisschen Minion dort, mit Akkadisch, und dann die Kinder lernen, ich weiß, auf Zoom, und mit der Day-School, und das, aber sie weißen, sie sind nur mit Fasten, zu beschäftigen. Das Ärzten, das schon will von jedem Menschen, und darf durch seine Schwierigkeiten. Damals hat der Keuches, man spielt es an, la Luft mit der Wurvis, without even knowing that he's doing it. Schkoach, aber es luch ist er. Kalte Chaim Zwi, kalte. Sehr stolz.
Let's talk about